New Japan Pro Wrestling G1 Climax Day 14, Day 15. Of course, this is the G1 Climax 32. Took place on Tuesday morning, took place on Wednesday morning. I felt a little bit under the weather yesterday, so I wasn't able to bring you a review. But guess what? Goddammit, I am back and I'm better than ever. If this is your first time checking us out, we're the almighty SOS Wrestling Network. So be sure you like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Please tell a friend to tell a friend. Price of subscription, as we all know, is free $99. So we got some matches to talk about. Night 14, night 15. We got to do it. So without any further ado, let's get into our first G1 Climax match of this night. So the first G1 Climax match, we had Yujiro Takahashi defeating Yoshihashi via pimp juiced around 13 minutes and 12 seconds right here. So my takeaway from this match is I like Yoshihashi. I like Yujiro Takahashi. Yujiro Takahashi's had a hit or miss tournament. Yoshihashi has had a pretty good tournament to this point. But if you ask me, this is a bad match. Takahashi looked like he was in bad shape right here. He was messing some spots up, and he just didn't seem to be with it on this day, man. So we got Yujiro Takahashi getting a victory around 13 minutes, 12 seconds to be exact. That is the exact time. So yeah, that match definitely left more to be desired. So moving on. Up the card, we have G1 Climax Block B action. The Cold Skull Sonata taking on Bullet Club's own Chase Owens right here. We get the victory via referee stoppage, and because Chase Owens actually got knocked out by the Skull End, the referee stoppage happened around 12 minutes and 45 seconds. And honestly, this is kind of a slow match until the energetic stretch here. The last closing stretch is pretty much what saved this match for me. Owens wasn't able to come Sonata's lackadaisicalness, and that I think cost him here in the end. This wasn't a bad match. It has started off really slow. So, moving on. Up the card, G1 Climax 22 Block B action. We have the Holy Emperor, Taichi, taking on Tama Tonga right here. And Tama Tonga was able to get the victory even with a gun stun around 16 minutes and 53 seconds. So, this was really a morality play about temptation, and the temptation in this match stemmed pretty much from the Iron Finger from Hell, which we had not seen in a very, very long time. But this one was a very different encounter. I think this is one, if you haven't seen it, I would suggest watching it to see how really kind of different this match was. It was probably one of the more unique matches in this G1, even more so unique than the Toru Yano match. So there's something for you to check out if you have not seen it. So moving on, I believe this is the penultimate match of the show. We have Jonah taking on Lance Archer, and Lance Archer getting a victory via countout around 12 minutes, 43 seconds. This is a really good battle of big-ass monsters right here, a big heavyweight clash. Of course, when you got two big guys in there, the pace might drag a little bit, but they know how to use the big spots to keep these people interested. If you ask me, this was a big man spectacle with some really good feats of strength before a very clever and memorable finish. So, not a great match due to the packing, but much of the many super heavyweight versus super heavy matches that we get in G1, this is definitely towards the top of them. So, like I said, we get Lance Archer getting a victory via countout over Jonah right here. Solid encounter. This is a damn good big man match. Moving on to the main event of the show, we got Tetsuya Naito, just Block B action. We got Tetsuya Naito taking on and defeating KENTA. He got the victory around 23 minutes and 30 seconds right here. This is a really good match. It struggled at times because this is literally what this is, man. It's two wrestlers who have seen better parts and better days in their career. I don't want to say a shell or a shadow of them former selves, but it's clear that they've lost a step or two. Kind of almost like Dominic Cruz coming up Saturday for UFC, but that's neither here nor there. They have to rely on the kind of, not trickeration, but they allow on a while in their tactfulness to go ahead and kind of pad this out to 20 minutes right here. So Naito gets the victory via Destino. This is a really odd show. The match that I expected to really over-deliver, that being Taichi and Tama Tonga, turned into a weird match based on melodrama and morality. Jonah versus Archer was a good big man match despite Jonah's limitations. And the main event kind of felt we've seen these guys in better shape, and it felt like, oh man, are we getting to the end of the road of these guys? So this year's New Japan Pro Wrestling G1 Climax has given an opportunity to freshen things up a little bit. While you have guys like Tom Lawler, you have Jonah, you have Archer add to something. Ultimately, this tournament's kind of feel like it had the weakness of last year's tournament. Lower quality talent. We got the clap crowds. They added a new weakness by having now with the 4 blocks, which I'm not really a huge fan of this. So I'm only hoping that New Japan can just move on from here and learn a lesson that we probably shouldn't go back to the 4 blocks. I get why they're doing the 4 blocks. It makes it to where the wrestlers don't have to wrestle as often, but it's a little bit confusing for the casual viewer. But yeah, now it's time to move on to night 15. Night 14 was pretty damn good. It was odd. It was a very odd show. That didn't mean it was bad. It was just a very odd show. So moving on, night 15 for the G1 CLIMAX 32. So our first G1 CLIMAX action on night 15, we had Block D action. We had El Phantasmo taking on and defeating David Finlay via crucifix pin roll up around 14 minutes and 24 seconds right here. This is a really fun and steadily built match. It never really reached that fever pitch, but it did a good job of showing both of these guys' ability to match each other in terms of speed, power, and technique. So it didn't get to that next fever pitch here, but I thought this was a solid fucking match right here to start off this night's G1 action. Then moving on up the card, we have the Great Khan. I lost my train of thought. Forgive me right there. We have the Great Khan taking on Tama Tonga right here. And we get Tama Tonga defeating the Great Khan by countering the Eliminator with a gun stun around 14 minutes, 33 seconds right here. This is a really decent match. It's meant to kind of spotlight Okan's insidiocratic offense, if you ask me. But it also has Tama's babyface fire in this match right here. Tama having a tournament matches on back-to-back nights is kind of rare in this tournament this year. I think El Phantasmo's like only the other guy that did it. But no, this was a really solid match with two very interesting and solid wrestlers right here. So moving on up the card, we have Zack Sabre Jr. defeating Evil via pinfall around 45 seconds. Cozy Vegeta is wearing a mask and a ball cap, sent out as a ringer for Zack Sabre Jr., allowing the real McCoy, that being ZSJ himself, to get the jump on both Dick Togo and Evil right here. So Evil gets thrown into the timekeeper's table, getting a little bit of his own medicine, and Zack Sabre Jr. rolls him up with the European clutch. Shortest match of the G1, and this officially eliminates Evil from the tournament. Wow, this is having this crafty guy like ZSJ hoist Evil by his own methods in this tournament makes a lot of sense. The Suzuki Gun has been they have been de facto faces since nearly constant clashes with the House of Torture over the past few months. Just about every G1 has one shockingly brief match, and this was what we got right here. And I think it was a nice touch rather than giving it to Yano, you gave it to ZSJ right here. I thought that was actually a nice touch, and I thought that was a nice shout. So moving on to the the penultimate match of the show. We have Kazuchika Okada taking on and defeating Tom Lawlor around 16 minutes, 16 seconds. He got him to the sit-down position for the roll-up for the victory. Lawlor looked very credible in this match against his attempt to both figuratively and literally disarm Okada and remove the Rainmaker from any equation in this match. His grappling was entertaining here, as well as it has been every match he's had this tournament. And Okada was given a little breathing room in the match where he came to realize he could only escape rather than win decisively. So with Tama and the Evil, the heat was very much a factor, as here even the Broadway tested Okada looked gassed by the end. But this ultimately added to that desperation that he was sensing right here. So great showing by Tom Lawlor. Great fucking showing, man. I recommend y'all go check this match out for sure. And now we got it's main event time. We got Hiroshi Tanahashi taking on Hirooki Goto. Hirooki Goto put the ace down for good around 19 minutes and 1 second via the GTR right here. So Goto has not really had many opportunities for in-ring stories as far as the G1. So that's kind of a shame right here. And he, like I said, it's been kind of hit or miss over the last few years. He's been never openweight champion. I think he's one of the current never openweight 6-man tag team champions right now. So this is Goto's opportunity for payback for losing that match to Tanahashi to go get AEW for the interim belt. So he got his revenge right here. Got a little bit of redemption. Told a nice little story here in the G1. This card was a little bit shorter, but it ended up yielding 5 enjoyable matches. Really great tournament matches, or at least 4 real matches and one welcome enough angle, if you ask me. While not quite measuring up the excitement of the first Osaka shows, this felt like a solid pair of Sapporo shows. Like this fell in line with the Sapporo shows, if you ask me. And which started the tournament had a flavor of weight of a proper G1 show, which in my opinion, has kind of been lacking this year. We haven't really had that real G1 feel. I don't know why. It's just been like that, man. So that's what it is, dude. That's our coverage for night 14 and 15. We are the almighty SOS Wrestling Network. Please be sure you like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Please tell a friend to tell a friend. Price of subscription is free $99. Price of subscription, is free $99. I'm the Pro SU Fly God. I am Stardust Shiyaku, and I am signing off. Peace.